Tonight I have a very special guest with me, none other than Andi from True Blue Quilts. Now, I had to get her over here. My favorite color in the whole wide world is blue. So it took me a hot minute. Life happened and got in the way. And finally, I happened to be on someone else's chat and I was like, hey, email me. I want to get you over here to play. And I was great. I'm so thankful that she did agree to hop on with me for a hot minute. So, Andi, welcome to my channel and thank you, sweetheart, for coming.
And thank you so much. I'm thrilled to be here. You have such a great community of followers that it just has been a delight to be in the chat for however many months it's been. I agree. It was kind of a lull there until we could get our schedules lined up. But yeah, it's terrific to be here.
I am just so grateful that you come over. Sometimes life happens and gets in the way and we just couldn't get together. So I'm just thrilled, over the moon. So let me
Yeah.
slip into the chat real quick. I'm going old school over here tonight and doing it this way. So guys, bear with me for just a second so that I can welcome everyone. Michelle Crafton Moore, hello, sweetheart, and welcome. Days in the house. Thanks, honey, for handling the chat. Donna, hi, sweetheart, and deepest condolences from Joe and I to you. Debbie and Quilt Facts in the house, and welcome. Michelle was definitely the first. Joy is in the house. Thank you for coming tonight. Let me skim. I'm not going to read all of the chats. I'm just going to skim. Chair, hello, and welcome, sweetheart. Good evening, good evening. Debbie, hello and welcome. Skimming, debt-free quilter. Hi, sweetheart. I hope you're feeling better and all the minions are on the mend now. Zaza's in the house. Hello, sweetie, and welcome. And let me see. Becky's in the house. Tasha Quilts is in the house. I love our quilting community, I'll tell you. Fallon's in the house. I'm waiting on my delivery. I can't wait. I'm jonesing to. I get all of my rulers from Fallon. And I tell you what, she has the newest one that she just created a quilt. As soon as I saw it, I was like, hit order, I have to have. And her and her husband bless us so much. And they keep me safe from all the injuries that could happen. One bus wreck that I know of, but I didn't know what school. Oh no. Hate to hear that. Greenland Quilter Katie's in the house. Hi, sweetie, and welcome. Really, Donna, we had no idea your favorite color was blue. No one knows. Hi, chat. I'm hand sewing and binding, so sorry for not saying hi back. It's okay, Fallon. I'm just thrilled that you're here. True Blue Quilts is telling everyone hi. Tony Altman's in the house. Let me see here. I'm just going to skim, and I don't mean any disrespect. Conquering Mount Scrapmore, Miss Brenda's in the house. Hi, beautiful, and welcome. It's good to have you. Let me skim. Katie Crafts is in the house. Yo, Patty G. Hi, sweetheart, and welcome. If you guys have any questions tonight, please feel free to ask. April W's in the house, and welcome. I shipped it, Donna. It's going to get here, and I'm going to show it off. You know I will. I'll do a big box opening because I'm so excited. Brenda Shevin's in the house. Hello, sweetie, and welcome. My minionette isn't listening to anyone or anything, but she's fine. Minions are doing better. Awesome. Let me see here. Brenda, note to everyone, hit that thumbs up. Yes. On behalf of all of us channel, YouTube content creators, that's the best way you can help us to grow. Hit the thumbs up and it lets YouTube know that you like the content that we're putting out, and it really does help. Let me see. Donnell, thanks for the extras. You guys are talking shop. Let me see here. I want to make sure that I'm not missing anything. Tony, Brenda, and everybody's talking. Kathy Hutchins, hi everyone. Hope everyone had a great Monday. 4 months till Christmas. I know, right? And if everybody remembers, I started this sewing challenge. And honestly, I know Dave's kept up with it. I believe Debbie has kept up with it. But the only thing I said was once a month, dedicate one project for Christmas. So we started in January. Pick whatever it is. It doesn't have to be a quilt. It can be a bowl cozy. It can be placemats, table runners, whatever you're going to make for one individual that's on your Christmas list. And I'm anxious to see how this is going to pan out in the end so that come November, you're not going to be, oh my gosh, I've got 12 projects or 15 projects I have to do. It's just a fun way of let's see how many we can knock out, and you're not going to be stressed. I call that a win.
Definitely a
What's
win.
on? Yes, Tony is asking, what's on tonight's menu? Well, I'm so glad that you asked. We're going to sit and chat, and I'm going to be working on my legit kit right now. Currently, I'm doing two Lucy Lou's at one time, and I'm just having a blast with it. And I'll let Andi tell you what she's up to.
Yep, I've started some log cabin blocks. I am making these for Quilts of Valor. Their 2025 block is they put out free patterns each year. And this year was log cabin, which is one of my favorite classics. And I just cut a bunch of red, white, and blue strips, and I'm just going around and around.
I think that's great. Now, do you cut them all different sizes when you do that? Or do you just keep the same size and build off? And when you get to the end, cut off and turn?
Oh, I cut them to the size that they were. Each log is already pre-cut
Oh, got you.
to the size that it needs to be for the next round so that I can just pick it up and go.
Oh, you can't beat that then.
Yeah, it's really easy. When they're all the same width, then you can just, strip cut,
Right.
get the things done pretty quick and easy. So
Oh,
yeah,
you can't beat
that's
that
what I'm
at
doing there.
all.
But I've got tons and tons of projects going. So yeah, if you tune into my live every week, you never know what you're gonna get because I got on the puzzle mystery quilt train with some of the other YouTube folks that we're all friends with. And so I'm doing those two mystery quilts from Cotton Cuts. And I've got to catch back up. This is my temperature quilt that I started. And
I just love that.
yeah, I am using half rectangle triangles. And this is kind of a long story, but
It's okay.
my mom had a fabric shop for a while, and one of the things she got started like back in 2010 was angle play, which is a set of plastic templates that help you make a bunch of different sizes of triangles. And we wrote together a bunch of patterns for those units. And then a few years ago, I was in charge of coming up with some block swaps in my guild. And I said, I want to go back to those half rectangle triangles. And so I took classic blocks and I stretched them out so that these are now 2x3 units.
I think that's fabulous.
I'm doing a bunch of different block designs. And the overall block is 6x9, so it's a little bit different than your classic 12-inch quilt blocks. And I have some Christmas patterns coming out starting next week, actually. So if you hop over to truebluequilts.com and get on my newsletter, you can find out all about those new Christmas blocks that you'll be seeing that are all this funky size.
I love that. I love anything different. When I first started quilting, I had to stay right in my lane. But now I'm learning, it's okay to go out of your comfort zone, That I think would be fabulous.
Yeah.
I really like the way they look.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I have a lot of fun um, just, you know, seeing what the dimensions are. Like I took the friendship star, which is up in the corner of my
Mhm.
logo banner, and I stretched that out so that it fits that 6x9 size. That was the first one I did with the half rectangle triangles in it. And now I just, you know, it's you go down a rabbit hole when you start asking, what would it look like if I changed it to this?
And
And
that's
trying to get
true.
all
And
the
it looks so cool. It really looks cool.
yeah, when you just you have to do that double take. You're like, wait a minute, that's not the normal dimensions. What's different about it? And then you
Right. And you sit back and you look.
yeah, yeah.
Anybody
So
that has a channel that you would like your link dropped tonight, please drop a heart in the chat. That will let Day know that it's okay to drop your channel link. And make sure that you do, please, Day. Will you drop True Blue Quilts? I'd like everybody over here, please, if you're not already subscribed to Andi, go over and check her out. I've been watching her, I want to say about 2 years, 2.5 years now, and I really learned so much.
thank
I
you,
don't
thank
always
you.
get into the chat, but I do sit there and watch. And it's just I get mesmerized at how she comes up with so much goodness.
I
And
have to
I learned something new tonight that I did not know. And I'll let you talk about it, but you have a podcast. That just blew
yeah.
me out of the water. I had no idea that you have a podcast.
Yeah, I need to get better at just going ahead and telling everybody everything I'm doing because you like we sometimes those of us that have quilt as a business, we get a little shy about self-promotion, but nobody knows if you don't speak up. So thank
Right.
you.
And
Um,
that's true. You don't know.
yeah, and it was funny. I was thinking as you were greeting everyone in the chat, and sometimes the chat just goes so fast that it's definitely hard to keep up. But I met my podcast host, Tori, in the chat of another webinar video class that we were both in. And yeah, she's just become a dear friend of mine. And a couple years ago now, I had the crazy idea. I like talking about quilting, about everything. I share my life pretty openly. It's uh, I don't know what the opposite of voyeur exhibitionism, I guess. I,
Right.
I don't mind being on camera and talking about everything. Um, and I came up with the title Quilting on the Side. And I was like, oh, Tori, we should do this. This should be our podcast. We can talk about quilting and running a business. And she agreed. And so,
I
yeah,
think that's great.
we interview each other, we bring on guests and have a three-way conversation about various aspects of uh, quilt businesses. We've talked to quite a few pattern designers, long arm quilters, um, that kind of thing. So if anybody
I
is
love it.
curious, check out Quilting on the Side. We do release our episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and our YouTube channel. So if you want to see us, see what's going on in the background, um, it's been a fun journey. So
I think that is just awesome. I really do. I had no idea when we were talking a couple seconds before we got live. I was just like you said, what?
yep.
Because that's out of my comfort zone. I've been on them, but to run one, no. That to me is amazing. You're multitasking. So for those of my subscribers that don't know you, and there's not very many, I'm sure. Um, Tell us a little bit about yourself, like your backstory,
Oh,
like
sure. I
where you're from, where your roots are now, children, life, the whole 9 yards.
okay. Settle in, everybody. Here we go. Story time. Um,
Yes.
I am an Air Force brat, so I moved around a lot as a kid. We never really had, where are you from? I'm from all over. Um, I was born in England, and I always say my dad did his career backwards because I would have much rather been in England as a teenager than as a baby. But I graduated high school in one of the suburbs of Phoenix. He was stationed in Arizona during my senior year of high school. And then I went off to the Air Force myself. I went to the Air Force Academy and served for 5 years after that. So
Oh, thank
that's
you for
kind
your
of where
service.
yeah, that's where True Blue comes from, the Air Force Blue, and yeah, so that's kind of, those military roots run deep. Even though that's a whole, different lifetime, I got out and have been a civilian for much much longer now than I ever was in the Air Force, but they always have my heart. So
I just think it's awesome.
formative years there. But I did not fly planes. I get horribly airsick. That was never an interest of mine. So people ask what I did, and I was an intelligence officer. So I was the Kelly McGillis character in Top Gun. The
Oh,
lady that
that's too
comes
funny.
waltzing in and tells everybody, debriefs the pilots and asks them what bad guys they saw out there.
Oh,
Um,
that's too cute.
yep, yep. And then, so after I got out of the Air Force, I moved back to Phoenix because that's where my parents retired. They live about 20 miles away. And
Oh,
my mom got me into quilting because that was her retirement hobby. And, we're close by, and it was a fun way to spend time together. So
oh,
she
that's
was my
awesome.
quilting inspiration. And I um I had joked before we went live that I have the total bossy older sister personality, and so I have to control everything. So I have to do the quilt from start to finish, which means that I bought a long arm very early in my quilting career because I just couldn't let go of the creative design and give it to someone else. No, I want to do it myself.
Oh, what kind of long arm did you end up getting?
I have a gammal.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And I do quilt for customers. Not a lot, obviously. I've had a full-time job outside of the quilt world for forever. I'm still not retired. I'm dreaming of the day. But summers and school vacations were always the time because I was a high school teacher after I got out of the Air Force. And
Right.
then um I quit that and then, kind of bumbled around for a few years. The pandemic happened, and that kind of cut the job search down. But then I was able to take my teaching skills and work as an instructional designer, which fancy words that mean I create training for a state agency. So,
I
uh,
think it's great.
yeah, so and that kind of dovetails with my pattern writing and my tutorials. I like the teaching aspect of all that. So
You can't beat
yeah,
that. You
that
do
kind of brings you
great.
up to date with my job and career. Married, very happy here in Phoenix. We have one daughter who just started her sophomore-ish year in college. I say ish because she took a lot of courses for college credit while she was still in high school. And
Right.
so and when you're in college, it's kind of fluid. We don't just have those freshman, sophomore, junior year.
Right.
You take classes until you have enough to graduate.
Exactly.
So
100%.
yeah, so she's in the middle of it there. She is still, busting out some of the core classes. She wants to be a physical therapist. And she's
Oh, fabulous.
actually, yeah, I'm looking forward to that as I start getting those aches and pains from getting older. I'm like, honey, here, tell me what to do to fix this sore elbow.
Exactly. And you can't beat it. You'll have one in-house there to help.
I'm hoping. So yeah, it's a little bit of a
Evening,
long
Pat,
road,
and
but
welcome. Yes. Um, so you're currently working on the log cabin, you said, for the evening.
yeah, tonight's a log cabin night. I'm getting my first two sides there on these.
Does anyone have any questions for Andi? I'm curious as to what you guys will come up with. I asked you earlier and you said it'll be on your podcast. Um, whatever intrigued you to get into the YouTube?
Oh, into YouTube.
Oh yeah,
Well, I knew I wanted to continue teaching quilting, and YouTube is the place to do that. So it was an easy way, and I have no problem being on camera or talking into a microphone. They say that 99% of the population is scared of public speaking, and I'm the 1% that's not.
I
So,
figure we're all the same, you know. We're going to flub up at times and it's okay. We just pick up and do it again.
yep.
Uh,
So, yeah, so when I quit teaching, and I keep dropping stuff, so that's why I'm
that's
going off
okay.
camera, is that I have to reach down and get my pieces. Um, so yeah, I was hoping that, I'd strike it rich on YouTube with a big audience, and I'm doing pretty well. I'm happy with it. We always have those moments of comparison when we can find someone who's much bigger and blah blah blah, but we're all on our own path, so I'm
Right.
fine.
It's everybody's journey is different, you know?
And I have made so many good friends. This evening is a case in point, just reaching out and finding other people that like quilting, like YouTubing, and we just hang out and have a great time. And that's uh, wonderful.
Right.
I'm
I never would have thought in a million years that I would be like on YouTube. That was never my thing. And I've met the most amazing friends. Um I never would have met in person if it wasn't for the YouTube.
right. I know.
So
I'm looking forward to going to Road to California and seeing some of my YouTube friends in person
oh,
next,
that'll be fun.
yeah, next January. So
Are
yeah,
you going to try? Are you going to QuiltCon?
I can't make the cross country trek this year to QuiltCon. Um, when they're here, we've had two here in Phoenix, so I'm
Right.
crossing my fingers that they will continue to come back and forth and will be in the rotation. Um,
Oh, that'll be fun now.
and then maybe in a couple years, I will have a more flexible career that lets me uh, take time off. I scaled back my travel because my last year,
Hmm.
2024, I guess, I like all of my vacation days were taken up with quilt things, and my husband was making a few side comments about how that was not that fun for him. So I'm really
Right.
trying to balance. So while I still have a full-time job, I need to uh, be aware of how much time I'm spending.
Then that makes sense, to be honest. We
Yeah.
have to give in just a little bit.
I mean, he gave up his man cave. There is no extra space in the house. I've taken it all over for quilting. So
I got nothing. I can't say a word. We just got rid of our dining room and turned it into a long arm studio. I'm just
there you
like,
go.
all this started on a dining room table with one sewing machine making masks. And I'm still just like blown away at how much life changes.
Hmm.
Hello, Janine, and welcome, sweethearts. I'm glad you could come tonight. You see. Yeah, I asked my girls in our So It Seems group today. I was like, okay, somebody, let's do a positive day. We're gonna do a positive quotes for Monday. Give me your peak of the day? Give me your best, what's the highlight of your day? And I loved, because you're always praying for someone or always thinking about someone. Let me know, because you're in that zone. It's like, okay, let's find some happy today. And the girls brought so much joy. I was just like shocked. I was just totally blown away by them and grateful.
That's
All
wonderful.
who does their dining room table anymore? Exactly. And if I need to on the holidays, I'll whip that around in my piano area. I'll put a tablecloth over it and we'll sit dishes along it. And they can use it for a buffet, right? My kids were laughing. They're like, you're getting rid of your dining room. And I'm like, getting rid of, honey, it's already gone.
So
We had the painters in, we've redesigned it, everything's different, and we couldn't be more happy.
yeah, I don't cook, and
You
we're
sound
gonna
like me.
it's gonna be very sad when I'm knocking on wood that my parents are around for a long time, because she makes the best Thanksgiving and Christmas dinner, and then I don't have to clean up my house. So
There you
it's a
go.
win-win.
Right. And I tell you what, it's hard. For years we've hosted, and now it's kind of like our kids are grown and they go to the in-laws and things like that. And I'm just like, it's easier for us by the time they rush around and go to everybody's house for their meals or whatever. They come here and they piece eat and we've slaved all day. I'm like, no, let's go out. They can have desserts. And, you know, Day, you're not funny. You are so not funny. Day goes, oh, Donna found another friend that doesn't cook. You know
Yeah.
what? That's true. Joe knew when he asked me to marry him, I don't cook. And I'm okay with that.
Yep.
I guess I have one still, but it has board games stacked on it because that's what ours is used for. You can't beat that, Fallon.
Yeah, I make a great reservation.
My idea of dinner is, what are we ordering tonight?
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, it's just easier. And if neither one of us want to go out, we literally live on cereal. Alan, you mean eat for eating? I thought you meant for sewing. I don't cook either. It would be healthier for Joe and I if I did, or it would finish us off. I'm not sure. I do a heck of a good soup.
Yeah.
I'm good at soups and I can make good waffles. That's about my limit.
Oh, yeah. I can make a good lasagna. Thank you, Betty Crocker.
Yeah, we
Uh,
do the Stouffer's out of the freezer section.
okay, that works. And my husband and I are big fans of bagged salad and
Hmm.
the Texas toast from the freezer section.
And Janine has me making bread now, so I bought a
Oh,
bread
wow.
maker. So I'm learning. You're never too old to learn. My husband does the cooking most of the time, but this week he is busy. So food poisoning from my cooking is on the menu. Yes, I get it, Fallon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My daughter loves pho, the Vietnamese noodles stuff,
Ooh,
or sushi. That's always what she asks for. So it's a good thing that she's going to school for physical therapy, which hopefully is a lucrative career and can keep her in the manner in which she would like to be accustomed, because
right,
those are not typically home cooked options.
right. Nancy, mine as well. When we have the kids over, yes, you clean it off, and here you go. Yep. No, Joe's laughing. He goes, no, ours comes for dinner, sits and talks, and then they shoot out the door when it's time to clean. It's just funny. The generations.
Yeah.
Man, I used to stand there and love talking to my mama and washing the dishes. That's the best
Mhm.
conversations. I'm so
Yeah.
thankful my husband is back in the kitchen again. I can cook, but despise it. Yeah. I don't wanna. I learned early on in our marriage my favorite meal was lasagna, so I learned to make it. You can't beat that. Absolutely. You do what's best for you guys.
So my funny story about lasagna is that I grew up that my mom, like I said, made it from the Betty Crocker cookbook. I didn't have the great home grandma's recipe or anything. No, it came straight out of Betty Crocker. And she always put spinach in it, which
Oh,
is fine. I've never been a real picky eater. I'm fine with most green vegetables, and so that wasn't a big deal. But then I realized my husband doesn't like cooked spinach. And for a long time, my daughter was not eating cheese. She didn't like melted cheese on her casserole dishes.
wow.
So I would take this great recipe for lasagna and I would have to divide the pan ended up like almost divided in thirds because I would put spinach on the half that I would eat and my daughter would eat, and then I would have to keep the cheese on the half that I eat and my husband eats. So it was like
That's pretty funny.
the two ends of the pan were completely different recipes.
That's priceless.
And everybody's like, well, either, you could use different pans, but that's too much work and it just is it's the one meal I cook, so I might as well make what my family likes. It wasn't
Right,
that hard.
absolutely.
Just it's
Um,
kind of funny with how it ends up.
Zaza says, I can cook both my husband's favorites and least favorites. I've only had to make the least favorite twice. I tell you what, I made Joe and the kids pasta dinner tonight, and oh my God, I put it in the Instapot. No, I'm not touching all that. Joe said it wasn't too bad, but it wasn't his. There was plenty of leftovers, and I only used the 1 pound box for them. My lasagna comes from the freezer section. Joe's does too. My mom makes a spinach and pine nut spaghetti, and it's so good.
That does sound good.
That's different. I do the bag salads. I am so hooked on those right now. Joe can't pick me in them. I don't know what it is. I could live on a salad. Joe says no one has ever been able to beat the Stouffer's lasagna. Anytime I'm traveling, he makes sure he has it in the house. So, which cutting cuts did you say you were currently working on? Are you
For
your
cotton cuts, I am
ambassadors or you're
doing,
just doing it?
yeah, I'm doing uh the flyway in Odyssey, which is here, I've got the boxes here. I can show everybody one of the recent clues for Odyssey was these fun neutrals.
Ooh, that's kind of like mine. I don't think that's the name of mine, though. It might be. I've never opened my pack. Mine's fly away. Let me see what the I keep them all until the end, then put it together.
Okay.
Mine's the black and white one, but let me see which. Uh, Fly away. Spring Team Raven is what it says.
Oh, Raven.
Yeah,
Fun.
it's
Yeah.
whoops this way. I don't know which way. But I had used to sew them as they come in. And then I was missing a part here or there, and then I got disgusted waiting. So this time, as soon as they come in, I open it, count my parts, and put it back in the bag. So when
There
I
you
get
go.
them all done, then I'll sew it up.
Mm-hmm.
But I love the way they look.
Oh, I know. They've been lots of fun. Although we're all kind of rolling our eyes at the flyway because they have so many square and a square units that it was just,
Oh,
I'm so tired of making the same unit over and over. I'm sure it'll look gorgeous. They always do, but that was kind of
right.
funny. And then Sean, actually, the guy who sews,
Yeah.
was my secret partner for the Under the Sea, and he gave me
Oh,
these beautiful teal batiks, blue and
oh,
turquoise, and they're so fun. So I'm having a lot of fun with that.
oh, that's cool. Sean's pretty cool. I
He
like the
is
way that they do those.
an awesome guy. Yeah, it's fun having that extra layer of mystery that I didn't know what my colorway was going to be.
Yeah. Letting go and letting someone pick. That's the fun part. It's
Yeah.
like, ah,
Yeah. And didn't you do the Floral States of America blocks?
yes,
Did you get that all done?
yes.
I've got
And
all the blocks done, but I haven't put them together yet. I need to get that project back in rotation too.
yes, absolutely. I've got so many. I'm good at kitting things up, but my follow through, I need to do better this year. I really need to do better.
That was
Paul makes an awesome lasagna. Winnie wants to cook. Yes. Right, Joe? Somebody, yes. Freezer section. Remember, everybody hit that thumbs up. Yes, please hit the thumbs up. I am an amazing cook. Wait till retreat. I'm telling you, I'm ordering Walmart delivery every day while we're there. I'm not hauling food to Tennessee. It's a 12-hour drive for me. And no, I'm not doing it. So I will hand someone my phone and they can tell me what I need to order. Donna is not cooking at retreat. I host them, I don't cook. And then our Thanksgiving feast day is going to do the turkey. I'm waiting on Debbie to yell, no, I'm doing it.
that's the one thing that holds me back from doing retreats is figuring out the food because A, I don't cook, and B, I don't want to be, I want to be conscious of people that have, smaller budgets, so we can't go out to eat all the time. And
That's that's what I do with mine. I set it up. I do Zoom meetings before. Tell me if you're going to be eating in. Are you going out to eat? Are you going quilt shopping and stopping to eat? You know, you don't have to tell me your business, but I don't want to cook and have all this food and throw it away.
right.
So just be mindful. If you're not going to be here in the morning, tell me before I do the Walmart.
Sure.
And you need to come to one of mine. You would love it. If you do hit the thumbs up. Yeah, I do mine close to Lancaster.
Okay.
And then this time I'm going to the one in October is going to be in Tennessee.
Very nice.
If you don't hit the thumbs up, Papa Joe will send Marty and the squirrels to your house and they will tear apart your attic. So now you just made me laugh. I just love our group. Everybody is so fun. And Fallon, just so you know, Joe had to buy me a stand and it's all of, I have to show you. All of your rulers are in here and they're all organized. This is called the Fallon drawer. So when I tell him or the grandkids, I need this ruler in this size, they know that's the Fallon drawer. That's when you know you're an addict. I'm like a junkie. When I see she's got a new one, I'm like, oh, gotta try it. Oh, gotta have it. Okay. Let me see. I'm making the stuffing and pumpkin pie. Well, you and Day can work out all the logistics. Hello, Brenda Foley. This is going to be fun to see what everybody comes up with. I'm bringing my waffle maker, my bread maker, and all that. I have a drawer. How cool is that? Yes. You have your very own drawer here. I'm telling you. And I've emptied this one so I can start filling up the second. I had just paperwork in it, but who needs that? I need to protect these rulers. And I have batting laying in so they're well cushioned. They all have their special place. I have to stay organized. Fallon, I have a plastic container. Does that work? No. You need to honor these rulers, Day. That's just so not right on so many levels. No, that is not good. Had enough squirrels eating the bird seed. I give a thumbs up. Thank you. So let me see. Got that one. And hi, Donna, Tony Altman. What an honor. Yep. I tell you what, after my stroke and when I came home, I was so afraid I was going to lose fingers. And I will tell this story to my dying day. Fallon and Matt, they blessed me and helped me with a ruler, and I keep it here. I used to have to keep a band around it to hold it because it would slide out of my hand, but now I just have gotten into the good habit of I slide my fingers under the notch. And it's been total game changer, and it was allowing me the opportunity to get back into quilting. So
Oh, that's so awesome.
I owe them so much more than they'll ever know. Donna, I do. They're going in the rig with me for the winter. Yes, they need to. They need insured too. Delia, I don't want to disagree with Donna, but I'm okay with it as long as you're using them. Day uses hers every day like I do. When we're making stuff or we're coming up with our next idea, this is not throwing Day under the bus. This is good friends. We collab all the time in figuring out, okay, we need this ruler for this project. Let's see if we have it. If not, we have to go in and get it. Or this or that. Yeah. Can you slip in Fallon's link? Fallon, will you please drop your link into the you mean for the rulers? Do you want the business one or Fallon's for the channel? Terrible storm right now. I'm sorry you guys are getting these storms. Storms are definitely no fun anytime. I tell you what, this has definitely been the worst year for storms for us. We've had flooding. It's our area is not used to this.
Yeah, I woke up to rain this morning. This is our monsoon season, so we typically get afternoon thunderstorms in throughout August, and they've missed us the last couple years. It's
Oh wow.
been a dud, so we always cross our fingers because you know how much we need the rain here in the desert, but finally woke up to rain this morning, so that was nice.
Oh, you can't beat that.
But then, of course, there's the flash flood danger. So got to be
That's
careful
true.
with it too.
Right when it's so dry.
Yeah. Yeah. And the ground gets waterlogged, it can't absorb it as fast as the rain comes down. So that's what causes the flooding.
Right.
Oh, Rita's having hail. That's no good.
Oh no. Don't like that. I was wondering yesterday if Fallon at Be It Quilts makes a FMQ ruler with a place to hook the thumb around. The thumb gets, you'll have to talk to Fallon. Check out her shop. I tell you what, without her rulers, I use I know I'm not supposed to, but on the long arm, I do a lot of ruler work. And I literally use some of Fallon's rulers on my long arm.
Ooh,
And it keeps me steady.
yeah.
So, yeah.
So I was gonna, well, maybe I should use this other. I was gonna say that I don't trim my
Ooh,
log cabins in between because I was telling Donna earlier that I cut my logs each for each segment. I've already got them. I don't just slap them on and chop them off. I
right,
pre-measure all the rounds. And then that is also my seam allowance check. How am I doing as I go around? Because when you put that next round on, as long as your strip matches your square, then you know that you're staying consistent with your seam allowances. So
right.
my next
Now, every
round,
time when you're getting ready to quilt, do you do like
a
a
test
check
piece.
to make sure that you're always on in the mornings, or you just know your sweet spot automatic?
I know where the marks are on my presser foot and on the bed of my machine, so I
Right,
have those visual guides. But I must be getting a little bit lazy because you can see there on this that I've got some white fabric overhanging the edge there.
right.
So somehow I'm not being as accurate on these pieces, but we're just going to make it work.
You sound like maybe we're gonna wing it.
I don't mind a little bit of imperfection.
They're 1/4, not 1/8, so they work with the roller foot. Yep. They're perfect, Fallon. I would wait till you see, now that I've got the long arm downstairs, you'll be seeing me use the rulers on it. And yes,
What kind of machine do you have?
I have the baby log lines.
Okay.
And I my husband's pushing, he wants me to go ahead and get the Pro Stitcher.
Mm-hmm.
But I love doing pantograph, and I really, really honestly enjoy the ruler work.
Okay.
So there's going to be a time when I know I need to go ahead and just do it.
Mm-hmm.
There's times when I get quilts for other people, and it's like I would rather just load it and get it done.
Yeah.
And their
I
selection would be so much bigger than what I
yeah.
can store.
I do all hand guided on my machine because I honestly could not afford the computerization 20 years ago when I bought my long arm. So and I know I could retrofit it, but that I'm like, I need a new car more than I need to upgrade my long arm. So
Right.
we're gonna save those pennies. Um, and actually, there are so many long arm quilters in my area that do computerized edge to edge that I'm finding my niche is offering that custom hand guided work. So I will
Right.
just stay in my lane. But like you said, I'm sure there will come a day that I want to um, and at that point, my plan is to trade in my Gamel, trade in as in sell it and buy a smaller system that is computerized because I do a lot with my local shop that sells the Grace Company Qnique
Right.
line of long arms, and they're really good machines. They're lighter weight and smaller obviously than my Gamel, but then I could get a fully computerized system for a decent price
Right.
eventually when
Camels
I'm
are
ready to.
quite pricey, but they're a workhorse.
Yeah, and I decided on the Gamel because there were two other quilters in my guild that had gamels. And so I had that built-in training system. You know, I had people that I could ask questions and learn from without having to go to shops or go to, you know, find help other
Right.
places. So
Yep.
that was a big factor for me, having friends that had the same system.
And that does make the difference.
Are you
Hello,
good?
Lori, and welcome, sweetheart. Thank you for coming.
Hi, Lori. Donna, are you going to be at a point where you can show us your progress on your paper piecing?
Yep, right here.
Ooh, it doesn't look like much yet, but
No, but it's a lot. I could do this. This would be more appropriate because I build out into wee little sections and then
right.
build it up from there.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah,
it,
I showed my daughter the legitkits tree frog, and she
yeah, I
said
did.
yes, she would enjoy that. So that I think is going to be a 2026 project.
Oh, you'll love it. You will totally love it.
The one thing I would do is, I think, you know, buy the whole kit with the fabric, but then I think I want to switch out the branch. It looked from the picture, it looked like they had some reds, and I
Yeah.
would want more of a brown, I think, for the tree.
Yeah, when you get your kits, I'm not sure if you've ever seen me do an opening, but it gives you the full picture. Let me grab one. I've got another one I'm working on too, so let me grab this. I'll use this as the example. This is the next one I'll be working on, and this is the caribou.
Yeah.
So if like I'm doing this for the company, but like if I was doing this for myself, I'm not a purple girl.
Right.
So I would be changing out those
Mhm.
for probably honestly more blues, you
Yeah.
know, but my taste is different than theirs. But you can see what ahead of time what colors you would need to change.
Right. Right.
And I love their labeling system because then all you have to do is like say you're changing the red for the tree frog
Mhm.
to say black.
Right.
You would just label it, pull
Mhm.
their label off and lay it on yours.
Right.
So
Easy.
everywhere this pattern reads, you got it. And I've Janine is one of my friends. She's a mod for me, and she likes the pattern, and then she and her daughter pick all of the fabric,
Mhm.
and she just won her first ribbon at the New York Fair.
Oh
And
yeah, I saw that.
she did fabulous. I'm just so proud of her. Yes, Brenda, that is what I did first. Then my husband saw me and asked if I want lines.
On
Yeah.
the rulers.
Yeah. The rulers on the lines do make a difference. They really do. I like to see the 1/4 inch. As long as I have the 1/4 inch, I can make anything work. And one day I'll do a little video tour of my Fallon. I have to do it this way, my Fallon collection. Joe laughs at me because I don't leave my rulers out overnight. I don't. I wrap them off and I put them in the right spot in the drawer.
Mhm.
So when I open that drawer and I know right where everything is. And he laughs at me.
Yep. Fallon is asking me, do I have a bucket list pattern or patterns you still want to make, one that you may be a little intimidated to tackle? Well, Fallon, we had an event here in Arizona for many years called Quilt Camp in the Pines. And the gals that ran it was up in Flagstaff, which is about 2 hours north of Phoenix, up in the mountains. Beautiful college town. It's where Northern Arizona University is. And it was a week-long session. You could take multiple classes. It was just a great event. And so I signed up. I had been quilting for about 6 months, and I signed up for John Flynn's double wedding ring class.
Oh,
Needless to say, that quilt is still in the closet
you
because
didn't
I was
finish it?
not in a position to tackle curves with not even a year of quilting experience. Because the other thing to understand is that I came to quilting as an adult who had never touched a sewing machine. So
Me
I
too.
only sew straight lines. I don't know all this garment making and curvy inset seams or any of that stuff. So double wedding ring was way out of my league at that time. And I'm feeling brave enough now that I can, I've done some curves. I've done a few Judy Niemeyer patterns, so it takes a lot to intimidate me now. And I love the phrase confident beginner for
Right,
quilters because, it's fabric and thread. Yes, it sucks to mess things up, but you can always try again. So yeah,
right.
I
That's
think,
why we have our friend Jack, you know?
right, right. So yeah.
Yeah.
And then another friend of mine one time told me that the best advice is to sit next to someone who knows more than you do. So you can lean
Absolutely.
over and say, "Hey, how do I fix this? What should I do?" So
Yep,
yeah,
absolute. And anytime you're sitting somewhere like that, ask a lot of questions. You're there and you want to learn, you know?
yeah. And that's why I talk so much on my live streams. And I usually set up a second camera. I'm sorry, this side angle isn't showing too
That's
much of my
okay.
machine, but and I talk through exactly what I'm doing and why I, position fabrics the way I do and what decisions I'm making along the way, because I do want to help people that are just starting out with all
And it
those little
helps.
all those little decisions you're making along the way.
Yep. I tell you what, it really helps. And you don't realize it really helps a lot.
Yeah. So I've got a couple, I'm looking in the chat, and Janine wants to do a storm at sea. I have the AccuQuilt Storm at Sea die, which is a big help. The cutting for Storm at Sea can be quite intense.
Oh, wow.
And I have a special layout for a Storm at Sea quilt um, that I want to do next year. So again, that's another big 2026 project. So
Now
stay
that sounds
tuned,
like
and
fun.
we will do an ocean themed Storm at Sea.
Yeah, I think they had the FPP version of that as well.
I've seen the ones where you can do the special colors to make the hearts show up
Right.
in the Storm at Sea pattern. That's really cool. And I figured out a way to make some of the blocks look like sea turtles.
Oh,
So
well,
that's going to be an element of it. But I
you
have to
can't beat
get my
that.
act together and make some test blocks, and then we'll start on that project. So the curves, I should finish up my double wedding ring. I have a So Kind of Wonderful, their quick curve ruler. I want to do their
Oh,
nativity quilt. I think it's called, oh, what is it called? I can't remember. I've got the pattern um, off in my bookcase, but yeah, I've got the pattern. I need to collect the fabric. I'm sure people have seen it. It's got the nativity scene,
now
the
that
three
would be
kings, the
amazing.
camel, the palm trees, that kind of stuff.
Oh, you've got all of that?
Well, no, I need to collect the fabric for it. So
Oh, that would
um,
be beautiful.
I've got the pattern, and I just need to commit and do it, because I've got all these someday projects and I need to get busy on them.
I I will never live to see all the projects that I want to do. Let alone, like I asked a question the other day in my chat, and it was funny. How old would you be if you could live long enough to sew all of the fabric in your stash? And I was dying at some of the answers, it was just too cute.
Well, the problem is that even with the 10 plastic bins full of scraps that I have, I don't have the right fabric to finish any project from that stash.
No, it's
You
not
always
the
need
right
that one
shape.
extra color.
Yep, absolute.
And then I always round up to like the nearest yard. So even if I need 3/8, then I've got all the extra.
Yeah, my husband, when he goes with me, we have to travel to go to quilt shop. And he's like, if we're going to be on the road, don't you dare tell them you want a fourth of a yard of anything. You're buying the full yard because this is too far. It's just too cute. Starry Night, yes. Starry Night was a
Starry
fun
Night, that's
one.
the one.
Yes.
Yep. So I will definitely announce and make a plan, and we'll do that on live streams together.
That would be fun. I would definitely slip over for that. That would be fun.
Okay, so I've got one with 3 rounds. I've got one more round to put on, and then I'll have
Ooh,
a block finish.
I think that's going to look beautiful.
Thank you.
Now she's going to have hers all done, and I'm still building my block, guys. Okay.
Yeah, well, totally different apples and oranges. Paper piece projects are much different than, and I need 24 blocks, and I think these are blocks number 15 and 16. So I'm nowhere near finished with this project.
No. Very pretty, Andi. You're being told. Let me see. Quilting compounds in the house. Hey, sweetheart. Brenda said that is very lovely. I love a log cabin. Honestly, that was one. I made a scrappy quilt. My first one was for my daughter. And then I made Joe. I was overzealous. I was watching I'll never forget it as long as I live. Mom and Pop Quilt Shop. Laura Lynn made it look so easy to do a log cabin. Cut all the strips. I had them on the table, everything. This side and this side, my husband looks at it and he says, now how's that going to be a log cabin? Because you've got so much, but me being new, I didn't know. I was like, I'm just going to do what the lady in the box says, So I kept hitting the pause and she'd say, so you're 2 blocks together and then you say the one up here and keep coming to the left. Well, I didn't know my first round. It was like change the color, keep the white, change. So I just kept going and I had the hot mess block, but he loves his quilt. That's all that matters.
That is all that matters. Yeah, I used to teach a log cabin as part of a beginner class. And one day the lady, yeah, she got like instead of continuing on the white side, she switched, rotated, and so it like everything ended up on one side. And it was actually a really cool looking block. And so I want to draw that pattern out, and so where the eye is kind of lopsided, and see how that looks as a full quilt.
Oh, that would look cool.
Again, those what if ideas that get me going, and that's why I never finish anything, because I get distracted with the next fun idea. So
right, when you're playing with something and it's like, ooh, hey Fallon, you asked a question. If you're still here, I did answer, but I'm curious. She put out a video today and it was so cute. How many quilts? So what was the what was your answer? I'm curious. Because I guessed about 20, I think I said. He's been really hustling to get them all done. I've been enjoying this chat as I peel FPP blocks. Don't you love it? So much fun. You're like squirrels like the rest of us. Yes. I love our quilting community. I can't say enough for it, you know? And will not get this block done on the live tonight because I've still got 1, 2, 3, 4 more pieces.
We were talking about getting off center, and I almost did on this because I couldn't figure out where the next piece went. And one of the tricks is to count your logs, because on one side I've got 1, 2, 3 logs, but then on this side I only have 2 white logs. So I need, that's where my next one goes. I knew I wasn't, it didn't look like I was ready for the dark side. But the other one is the seams. Wherever you have 2 seams, that's the side your log goes on. So
I'm going to be doing the wonky log cabin just for something different. I think that's going to be funny to see how that comes out. If I bind these last 3, I think 6. Well, I'm way over. I haven't recorded the video. I have a few days left to hustle, but it isn't close to 20. I guessed 20. I know I did. You probably were like, what is wrong with her? She thinks 20. But that's a little dent. Yes. I took down literally the quilt tops, the flimsies that I had up here, and I made sure I pressed and steamed all of the backings and took them down and I hung them. And considering I started the year off and I only had, I think, 1 unfinished. Now I'm ashamed to say I have 14 downstairs that need to be quilted. But they're already ready. I just have to put the time in and do it. But at least they're organized. The batting's marked for each. Everything's ready. I just have to load and go. Hustle, Fallon. Yes, hustle. Fallon, coffee up, my friend. Coffee up. And you don't leave the long arm until you do 6 a day.
Whoa, you are
Go get them done by Christmas.
6 a day. I have quite a backlog on my long arm as well, because I can find much more time to sit and piece. Like we have, open sew days at my shop one Saturday a month, and so I'll go and sew. But if I'm sitting and piecing, that means I'm not at the long arm. And when I am at the long arm, 90% of the time I'm working on a customer quilt instead of my own quilt.
Right.
So
that makes the difference.
Yeah, I'm starting to dedicate my own quilts in rotation. So I'll finish a customer quilt and I'll put a personal one on right away. So I can get through some of this backlog.
Hustle, Fallon, you've been very busy. Yes, she has. But it's like a little dent in the upwards of 70 unfinished. Slacker, get to it, Donna. You know it. I made the mistake and slept 2 hours last night. I only have 2. You guys cracking me up. That thing does not red. But is she not listening to you? There the doggy slept. Janine, you're becoming an overachiever. Yes, she is. She's gonna open her mailbox one day and she's gonna see all these quilts coming from all over. And everybody be saying, now you're slacking. Now you're slacking, girlfriend. It's only a woman. I only have two that are ready to quilt in waiting. Janine, you became an overachiever. Brenda, I don't have UFOs. I have Area 51. And that is true for all of us, right? But ask me how many unfinished quilt tops I have going, right? And we notice, don't we put our own personal in the back burner when we hit that customer quilt, you know? They're like, hey, can you do this for me? Absolutely, I can.
It's
Most definitely.
a couple times I have done my live while I'm working at the long arm. It just makes it a little bit harder to have conversations with people, but that was my other trick, because I make a lot of progress on projects when I host my live streams on
Right.
Wednesdays. But then I need to spend time at the long arm too. So I was pleasantly surprised that my microphone picked up as well as it did the few times.
Oh, you can't beat that. Right, Brenda, mine are getting that way as well. Finally learned how to use my long arms, so it's been getting a workout. Yes, it has. Lurking in the background, Linda says, while I piece some curved, scrappy blocks I'm making with Laura Lynn. I love Laura Lynn. I have a Moxie coming next week and have 26 tops I have to put together. You'll do it. I believe in you.
Sounds fun.
Absolute. I think I have, let me see. I think you have beat me, Iversail lady. Just a smidge, Day. Just a smidge. Tiny little bit. But I love the long arm. I don't know what it is. It's like when you're in your zone. It's like nothing else matters. You're into it. Hubby is home finally, off to eat dinner. Thanks for the fun chat. Thank you, Fallon, for coming in, honey. I see you
Good to
again
see
real
you.
soon. Everybody tell Fallon good night. It's always fun when she can stop. Love to pick on her. Just a smidge. Guess what my family and friends are getting for Christmas? I don't know, but just remember, I'm a friend. I could be family. Just saying. I bet they're gonna get quilts, right? Yeah, I think it's so cute when someone says, what do you get a quilter for Christmas? And I'm like, please, it's like buying a man a tool. You don't want to do that. Give gift cards. We'll take anything.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't make it a secret that I love fabric and I'm partial to the color blue. So I can give you directions to the fabric store and it should be pretty easy from there.
Right. And my wish list is behind the counter. Tell them I sent you. I don't, you would think that you would outgrow the one color, you know, but I tried different fabrics and things when I first started because you don't know anything. You don't know one fabric designer from another. You don't know what's the best thread to use. You're just grabbing and buying and hoping for the best. Well, I tell you what, I've learned so much, and I used to see boutiques and I'd be like, oh gosh, who likes that, you know? Well, now I'm hooked on them too.
Yep.
They took me to the dark side.
The best place to be. Yeah, I love.
I tell you what, they look so amazing. But I think I just had to embrace and let go of, okay, a solid has to go with the floral. You know what I'm saying in my mind?
Yep. And there's the final block with
That is gorgeous.
3. And I'm doing scrappy.
Are
So,
they like 2-inch or
uh
2.5?
they finish at 1.5. So my block is 12.5 inches. Yeah. At this point it's 12.5. So each pair in the round is the same, but I'm trying to use different reds and blues in the blocks, so it will have a
Oh,
scrappy
wow.
feel when I'm done.
That's going to look beautiful.
I'm a little bit worried because I'm not a dedicated pre-washer, so these reds and blues, everybody cross your fingers, and I will be using probably a whole box of color catchers when I finally wash this.
I was going to ask, now, do you wash before you bless someone, or do you give it straight from the long arm?
I will generally wash especially for charity quilts, I will wash before I donate. So if it's for a family member or a friend, I would probably gift it right after I bind it and just give them care instructions with it.
Right.
So
Let's see. Beautiful boutiques, never boring. No, I've learned a lot about them.
and I mix like this block, the red is a batik, but the blues are regular print. And then this red
Right.
is batik. So
Good
I
night,
mix.
Brenda. Thank you for coming. Well, everyone, I'm a little bit past my normal, the gift of gab.
Yeah, we've had
And
such a fun time
I have
chatting.
really had such a nice time.
Yeah, thank
I
you.
really have, and I appreciate you coming.
Of
And
course,
I'll make
anytime.
it doors always open. Anytime you're free on a Monday night, you hit me up. We'll hang
I
out. I love it. Linda, I only have given my blessings. Yes. So everyone, you take care. God bless. Have a fabulous night. Thank you for coming. We greatly appreciate you. And until we see you again, take care and be a blessing. Bye-bye, guys.
have a great night.